today, guys, I play one of the most emotionally exhausting chess games that I've ever played in my life. I'm playing right now in Swindled, which is a tournament in Stockholm, Sweden, and I played round number 4 against an 1800. I had the black pieces, and well, guys, I feel like I was almost having a heart attack during the game. So I'm really excited to show you this recap of round number 4. Now, my opponent, he was from Switzerland, and he was rated 1800, Nicolas Kaiser. I'm so sorry with these pronunciations. I know I'm terrible. I really know. I'm really sorry. But he actually told me that he's a viewer of this channel too, so that was really fun. But anyways, he opened up with e4, and I went c5, c3, knight f6, this is the Alapin, e5, and then knight d5, d4, this is really normal, you're just trying to get some center, and I captured, and now I was 100,000,000% expecting him to capture back with the pawn. Like, that was my prep. I had some good lines against this, but what did he do? He went queen takes, and I said, oh no, he's probably prepared. Because he was also blitzing these moves out, like he was playing like at an instant. So I got really stressed out because I could only remember one game where they played this against me. It's actually a lot less common to capture with the queen because the queen can very easily be kicked away from here. So it was actually from the Olympia, the one game that I was thinking about, and it was one of like the best games that I've ever played. But it was a really crazy opening, and I thought that he had prepared it, and I couldn't really remember how that opening went, and I was really stressed, so I took quite a while here. So I started with e6, and after he went knight f3, here I went knight c6, I kicked away the queen, and in this position I took like 20 minutes because I was trying to remember that game that I had played in the Olympiad, which I thought he had used for preparation, but he hadn't. So those were 20 minutes that I spent on nothing. But yeah, anyways, I went f5 here. The idea is that I actually thought he was going to take on Pisant, but the idea is that I'm kicking away this queen. If I don't do this diagonal could become very scary if I decide to castle kingside. So f5 is the best move there, and then he went queen e2. I actually thought he was going to take on Pisant, but he went queen e2, and I was like, oh, okay, he did not prepare that game. So queen e2, this is actually the main move, and I've never played against this, so I didn't really know how to play this. Apparently the best move in this position is to go b5, because if queen captures, then the queen is going to be very unsafe here, and this diagonal is going to be fantastic for me. So I'll be getting a lot of initiative. And with b5, I can also reroute my knight to b6 and to c4 maybe. So b5 is a lot better than what I played. I played bishop e7, but this gives the opportunity for him to play c4, kick away my knight, and my knight, I would have to go to c7 and then go b6, bishop a6, but my pieces are a little bit cramped in that position. So actually here he should go c4, but he went g3 instead. And once again, I should go b5, but I was too scared to sacrifice a pawn. Guys, after yesterday, I was too scared to sacrifice any piece this game. Like, literally today, I sat down at the board and I was like, I'm not going to blunder any material. I'm not going to sacrifice a rook. Because you know what happened yesterday? I sacrificed the rook and things went down. So I was really like, I just gotta play a safe game, and that, backfired in some positions where I should have played in a very crazy way. So this is one of them though. Here b5 was actually a move that I was thinking about, but I thought it was too crazy to sacrifice a pawn. So I went b6 instead, and well, the idea of this is that I'm trying to get my bishop out to this diagonal, and yeah, maybe I even want to go bishop a6 after a5 at some point. So he went bishop g2, I castled, he castled, and here I went bishop b7, and now we have, well, pretty much the middle game because I have developed all my pieces, but we can see that my opponent, he actually hasn't developed 2 of his pieces. So actually, yeah, like this is like still opening for him. I mean, he has big trouble in the sense that his pieces haven't developed, but my main issue is that he can go c4 and my knight doesn't have any good square. Like, if my knight could go to b6, that'd be fantastic, or to e7, but my pieces are a little bit in some clumsy positions. So that is my main issue. So here white is actually slightly better, but in this position he thought for 20 minutes and he made a mistake. And it's typically like that, we think for 20 minutes and typically the move that we make is a mistake. And he actually played knight d4 here. And this is a big blunder, or big, but it's a blunder because he actually really wants to have this pawn on c3 to be able to go c4. When if I capture here, which I did, after captures and captures, we can see that this pawn can never kick away my knight anymore. So my knight is going to be fantastically placed on d5. And he's not doing anything about his issue of having developed. He really needed to get those pieces out. Now we can see that I can do whatever I want. All my pieces are out pretty much, at least all my minor pieces. And I have a lot of initiative in this position. So this is actually a big mistake to go knight d4. And in this position, I went queen c8. The idea of this move was that I wanted to go bishop a6 and get control of this diagonal, but I also wanted to go bishop c6, queen b7, and put pressure on this diagonal. So those are the two ideas that I had over here. Now, I could maybe have gone rook c8 instead, but queen c8 fills a pretty similar function. So queen c8, he went rook d1 because he wanted to avoid bishop a6, pinning everything. And in this position, well, I played an interesting move, to put it that way. Now, probably here I should have gone for my plan of going bishop c6, queen b7, which was my initial plan. But you guys know me, I like playing very active moves in chess, and I played f4 here. Now, f4 is not a terrible move, by no means, but it's going to become a very tactical game. So the idea of f4 is that he cannot capture, because if captures, I mean, his king is just going to become so terrible. And in this position, I'm threatening to go f3. This is actually my threat. Let's say that he does a random move. My threat is actually to go f3 here. And if bishop takes, to go knight c3 probably. So this is what I'm threatening. And after knight takes c3, I can go bishop takes f3. And then I'm winning an exchange. So this is what I'm threatening if he doesn't do anything. So there's a lot of threats there. And in this position, to avoid f3, he went knight d2. But this is actually a mistake. His best move here is to go bishop e4, because if f3, then he doesn't have to capture, as it's not a fork anymore. And his bishop is very active over here. But I think this is a difficult move to make, because after f3, his king is going to be pretty weak. His bishop needs to stay on e4, which when you fianchetto, typically you want to have your bishop close to the king. That's typically the idea of fianchettoing. So I think human-wise, it can be a little bit difficult to do this move. So he played knight d2. Now this is a big moment in the game. This is a very big moment in the game. Because in this position, I saw a move that I thought was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I didn't make it because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my tactics because of what happened yesterday. And so I saw a line and I thought it was beautiful. And every single part of me wanted to make that move, but I didn't trust myself enough. So I didn't do it. I decided to go for a more safe option. And after, I started calculating it more and more. And I was like, man, this was such a fantastic move. Why did I not do it? And the move in this position is queen c2. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this go from, going with the queen to c2? How do you end up sacrificing a piece here? Well, because in this position, the move that he was going to make, which I understood that he was going to make, and he told me, because I analyzed with him actually after the game, the move he told me he was going to make if I went queen c2 was bishop e4. So here, did you see queen c2 here?
Yes, I would have played bishop e4, but I didn't see all the tactics.
Yeah, you didn't see the knight c3.
But
it looks so crazy. It's so crazy.
I know. And Mom, I was like, I can't do the same thing I did yesterday. I was like, Anna, just don't go into crazy lines. But today I had to go into a crazy line. Now, what is the idea of queen c2? The idea of queen c2 is that I'm threatening f3, and now this knight is pinned. You guys can see the knight cannot move because the queen is hanging. So after f3, he would be in a lot of trouble because he cannot capture with the knight. So his idea of going knight bd2 is that he's stopping my f3 my f3 move, but with the queen over here, I'm pinning the knight. So in this position, the only move that is good is rook e1, which doesn't lose on the spot. But rook e1 is a really difficult move to make, defending the queen, because he just went rook d1. So I understood that if I went queen c2, he was going to go bishop e4. And like I said, he told me that he was going to do that. Now here, there's a beautiful idea, which is knight c3. And this is just this is so pretty. So pretty. I think this is so beautiful. And I can't not smile when I see this because I think it's so beautiful. What is happening here? Well, what's happening is that right now, if my opponent does nothing, obviously I'm threatening the queen and I'm threatening this bishop. I'm threatening this bishop with 1, 2, and 3 pieces, and my opponent's just defending it with 2. So my opponent right now, if he captures my knight, let's start with that, I can go bishop takes bishop. He cannot capture with the knight because the queen is hanging, and he cannot capture with the queen because the rook is hanging. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is completely winning. So he cannot capture my knight. My knight is safe here. So okay, what happens if he captures my queen? Well, if he captures my queen, I have knight takes bishop, and I don't know where the king is gonna go. Let's say that the king goes, to f1. Then I can go pawn takes g3. He cannot capture over here because I have bishop a6. Let me just show you bishop a6 check. And after king here, there's a checkmate on f2. So this just becomes a complete disaster. And if after captures, he captures back, I can just capture back. He cannot take here. This is hanging, and I will simply be here a pawn up, but it's not just a pawn, it's that his whole position is crumbling. This king is super unsafe, he hasn't developed, I have so much initiative, this is ultra winning for me, completely winning. So actually probably after queen c2, if I would have made that move, the game would have finished, because he would have gone bishop e4, and this would have been, I think it would just have been after knight c3, I think it would have been over pretty quickly. And I think that this queen c2 move is beautiful, but I didn't trust myself. I was really scared of going knight c3, so I went bishop b4 instead. Now, the idea of this move, it's not a terrible move. It's just that it's not as good. The idea of this move is that I'm right now threatening to capture this knight, and if I capture, maybe I can go f3, but the issue is that this bishop is just not as good placed over here as it is on e7, because sometimes I want to be able to bring my knight up. I went to the bathroom after going bishop b4, and in my head I was still calculating queen c2, and I was like, queen c2, like I don't see what my opponent does. Like, can queen c2, knight c3 really work? And then yeah, I just kept thinking about it in the bathroom, and then like I went back, and it was really bad because I started like analyzing it even after I'd made the move, but I just gotta let it go, you know? But bishop b4, and in this position, he played queen h5, and this is a mistake. But I didn't see the move that makes this a mistake. The best move here, and this is really beautiful, the best move is to go knight e3. And I did not see this at all. Like, I didn't see it at all. The idea is that if f takes e3, there's bishop takes g2. I can show you this. Takes, and now there's f takes e3. And the rook is coming up now, and if knight f3, then there is e2, and I'm going to promote. So this is, like, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, his best move here is king h3, like imagine, and then I'm not even supposed to like take the knight. Like this is just super winning for me. So he cannot capture, and if he takes first on g2, then I can just go, on b7, then I can go queen takes b7, and after it takes, takes knight f1, I can just simply go rook f5, and the queen, I don't know where the queen goes. If queen e2, there's rook f2, and I'm going to be checkmating. So this is just really beautiful. So yeah, but I did not see knight e3 at all. Like that move never crossed my mind. Now, I should have gone rook f5 in this position because you guys will see the difference. I went g6 here, kicking away the queen, but the issue with g6 is that after queen g4, I cannot go h5. I cannot go h5 because my pawn is hanging. So rook f5 in this position makes the queen be forced to go somewhere else, because if this, I have h5 immediately. And the queen has to stay in this diagonal, because if it doesn't stay in this diagonal, I'm going to go queen c2, and I'm going to threaten the rook, and the bishop cannot move. And when the rook moves, I'm going to have bishop takes d2. So if the queen doesn't stay here, white will probably lose material. So the queen has to stay in this diagonal. So here, after rook f5, he probably has to go queen e2, which once again is a hard move to make, because then he's basically saying queen h5 was a terrible move. So in this position, I went g6, and this was a mistake. Queen g4, and I think I realized pretty quickly that this was a mistake, because I realized that I really wanted to be able to like go h5 and force the queen to go back, but I couldn't, so I went queen e8 here, and this was a moment where I did like 4 moves in a row that were just like really bad. Like they were just really bad. So I went queen e8, and this is just a bad move because the queen actually wants to stay on c8, just so that bishop a6 is always a move after queen e2. So here he went knight e4, which is a great move, and I played h5, kicked away the queen went back to e2, and in this position I had to go bishop e7. This knight is coming up to f6, and this can become very scary if I'm not careful. So I need to go bishop e7 in this position and stop knight f6. But I thought, let me stop knight f6 in another way. Let me go king g7 and stop it that way, because now it's not a check. This move just blundered. Like, after this move, I'm completely lost. Why? Because he goes knight f6, and now I cannot capture, because if I capture, there's pawn takes, and whenever I take back, I'm losing my bishop. It's a check, I'm losing my bishop. So actually, after knight f6, I'm completely lost. Not because I'm going to be losing material, but because I went here queen c8, but because in this position, after a series of takes, you guys can see that I'm going to be a pawn down here. I'm a pawn down. My pawns are terrible. My king is very unsafe. It's the same color of bishops. I just don't have anything. If I had a light squared bishop, at least I would be able to go maybe attack some squares. But here, my counterplay, it's next to none. It's just lost. So it's not just about the pawn. White also has all the initiative. So I had this position. This move 23. I had 1 minute on the clock. My opponent had 12. And I was just like, because I had seen queen c2, and I just kept on thinking, why did I not go there? I could have won the game. Now I have a terrible position. And I was just feeling like, I was feeling really sad. Like, I kept on shaking my head. I kept on, like shaking. Like, I was just really sad here. That was literally my emotion. I went from being really happy and comfortable in my position to realize that I've just blundered the game. And in this position, I just thought, okay, I need to bring in my blitz skills here. I need to make 17 moves in a minute. There's increment, but still. I need to make 17 moves in a minute, and I need to try to trick him. That's all I was thinking about. I did not stop fighting here. I kept on fighting, but I just thought I need to try to trick him. So what I tried to do was that I tried to get really low on time so that he would get stressed and think that he can flag me. So he would make maybe bad moves quicker so that, he would flag me. And that is a pretty good piece of advice. If you're in an over-the-board game and you're losing the position, a lot of people will actually just start playing a lot faster than what they should just because they want to flag you. And I was actually hoping that he was going to do that. But he didn't. You guys will see. So here, I went bishop e7. My plan was maybe to start going g5, h4. I mean, I just knew that I had to create some sort of counterattack. Here, a fantastic move would have been for him to go e6 and just open everything up, because e6, I mean, after it takes, he's going to be able to go check, and is going to bring the rooks in, and this is just going to be terrible. So e6 would have been fantastic, but I went queen d2. He told me that I was trying to keep everything very safe. So okay, here he's threatening bishop h6 check, winning the rook. I went king h7. I was here literally desperate. I was just trying to find some counterplay. He went rook c1. I went queen d8, which is probably a little bit bad. I should go queen e6. Queen e8 to go queen e6. I really need to try to get a queen up over here so that I don't lose my d5 pawn. But I went queen d8 to stop him from going rook c7 and to put a little bit of scare into him. Like, I was trying to go g5 and h4. Fear, that's the word. So he went h4 here because, he was scared of me going g5. And when he went h4, I was like, you know what? Okay, I saw some points where I could maybe sacrifice here and get some perpetual. So I was like, okay, we have something to play on. So here, I was actually just trying to stay focused and say, okay, you know what? We got to try to win this game, or at least we got to try to save this game, more importantly. So here, that was my way of thinking. I went rook f5 to stop him from going bishop g5 and exchanging. He went king g2, and I started to double up over here. Now, in this position, he should go rook c7 and just get his rook up over here. But he got a little bit scared because I'm right now threatening bishop takes h4, as if pawn takes, there's rook takes bishop. So he went bishop e3 to stop me from being able to take. Okay, I said, now this bishop is terrible. The bishop is literally right now just in front of a pawn. So here, bishop b4, this was not maybe the greatest move, but whatever. I was just really low on time. I mean, I got down to 12 seconds here. I went queen f7 to be able to go queen e6 and double up my rooks. And here he threatened my bishop. I went back to once again look towards h4. Now he went queen d2. I went queen e6. I think that his main issue is that he hasn't gone e6 and rook c7. He should have activated himself more. Now he went rook c7. I went rook f7 with the idea of defending, but also with the idea of getting my queen up to the light squares. So rook c1, queen g4, queen d1. He was trying to exchange this a good move. I went queen e4. In this position, this is where he started to make a couple of mistakes. After this check, he should probably go king g1, because after king g1, there's not any threats. The king is super safe over here. But he went king h2, and I was really hoping he was going to go king h2 because this gave me a few more counter chances. And you'll see what counter chances I'm talking about. So I went rook f8, threatening to take, and checkmate, so he needs to do something about it. And here he started to get really low on time. He was under a minute here. In this position, he went queen c2, defending the pawn on f2. Now, he had 5 seconds left when he made this move. I played queen g4 with the idea of going rook f3. I was looking at this square right here. He didn't see this. He told me after the game that he did not see the checkmate idea that I had. So, but actually in this position, I've already been able to place my pieces in much better squares. And because he didn't play e6 and get his, pieces in their best squares earlier, I've actually been able to regroup my pieces in the blitz part of this game and get them to much more active squares. In this position, his only good move is to go rook g1 because I have a huge threat right now. But he missed it. He went rook f1, and this is a big blunder because I can go bishop takes h4. And I made this move. And, well, guys, I kind of feel like my mom should tell you what happened after. Because the idea here is that after takes, well, let's have my mom in the commentary say what happened.
She took on h4. She took on h4. So Anna got the pawn back. And the point is, he took it. And now, I don't know, what will he do after rook f3? After rook f3, what will he do after rook f3? She played rook f3. She played rook f3. And how is now? There is no way for white to defend the game any longer. There is no way for white to defend more than to play rook take d7. But she can just take back. She can take on d7 and she will have an exchange more. She can also just move her king. He can only give it checks and nothing more will be happening. No, but the best, I think, yes, just to take it. King h8 could be the good move. King g8 is not a good move because then it will not be the best. But I think, yes, the easiest is to king h8, but not king g8, because then he can take on g6, take back, and he has rook g1. So let's see what Anna did. I think Anna took the rook. No, she moved the king. But where did she move the king? Where did she move the king? This is so important. She moved the king to h8. She moved the king to h8. And this was such a good move because if white trades something, queen take g6, we don't care about the queen. We're going to make mate in 1. And her opponent has only 12 seconds left. 12 seconds left. He can give a check, but it doesn't change anything. Anna will take it with the king. He can give a check with the rook. He take it with the king. He has the queen coming down, but she's just moving back. And there is just nothing happens. So what will he do? He made it. He played this. King, rook, take h7, and Anna just should take the rook. She should just take it, and this is what she did. She took the rook. She is now having exchange up. I'm sorry. She's now having exchange up, but she's threatening mate in now, and there is no way that white can defend this. White has one more check, but instead of that, white decided to resign. So what a dramatical game. What a comeback.
But here we can see how important it was for the rook to be on g1 instead, so that after takes, there is no rook f3. This is the move, guys. It's such a fantastic move. There's nothing that my opponent can do. It's going to be a forced checkmate. So his issue here was that he couldn't capture an h4, but he actually, the moment the moment that he captured, he had 1 second left on the clock. So in this position, he had to go rook g1. This was his only saving move, so that after I couldn't play rook f3. But after rook g1, I can probably go rook f3 anyways. But he just has to make sure that he doesn't capture here, so that there's no rook h3. But yeah, he captured, and it was a forced checkmate. Rook f3, rook h3, there's nothing he can do. And he realized it here, and he went rook d7. I didn't take the rook, because after king h8, there's no more checks. Well, okay, there is one check, but rook h7, and he resigned, because he's going to go queen c7 check, but after king h8, there's no other check. I'm going to be checkmating rook h3 the next move. So guys, this was my big swindle from having a terrible position, well, from having a fantastic position to a terrible position to a checkmate. This was my swindle. Guys, I am right now with my opponent. We just finished the game. We just finished the game. I was just telling him that I was the luckiest person ever because I played a terrible game. Yeah, it was a crazy game, a big roller coaster. I was so happy after the game. I was so relieved, and yeah, my opponent actually, he was really nice, and he came to analyze the game with me even after this loss. He was on stream analyzing with me, so that was really awesome. He actually said that he watches all of these recaps, so that was really fun. He said that he was gonna watch this one, so shout out to my opponent. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I am now on 3 out of 4 points, so we're doing really well. And tomorrow is the 31st of December, and I'll be playing 3 hours earlier than usual. So the stream and the game will start at 12 p.m. CET. So you can catch me on twitch.tv/AnnaCramling with my Grandmaster Mom analyzing live. Or obviously, I hope that you want to watch the recap of round number 5 as well. I'll have the white pieces tomorrow probably. We'll see who I play against. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the analysis, the recap, the video, everything. And I'll see you guys for round number 5 tomorrow. Bye-bye!